G'day you beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I am completely and utterly devastated tonight. I went to update Paragon on my PlayStation and then my PlayStation crashed, and upon reloading, restarting my PlayStation, I found that Paragon had reverted back to version 1.00 and my internet connection is being really stupid. And it's going to take me around 18 hours to download the patch, apparently. So that's great. So I can't give you any gameplay tonight, or anything at all. And I wasn't actually going to post anything, and I thought I need to post something. So what I'm going to do is quickly run you through two builds that I have constructed, that I have talked with my teammates at length about. I have actually played on PC, but I don't really trust myself, and my mates don't trust me enough to play PvP on PC because I'm a scrub. I've played like 5 bot matches on PC and that's it. So we're going to go over the builds. Okay, so this is something that I think a lot of people are actually going to be running, and that's just a penetration build for Revenant. Okay, so we have Archmagus. Just want to get that extra damage. Cast token and a healer token. We have an early game ward, throwaway ward. We have 2 Madstone gems as 5-point cards because Fury hero. Alright, we have a Sage's ward with 3 major strikes. That is an option if you want to run a ward. Okay, if you don't want to run a ward, we have a Rust Breaker as a 12-point card to replace it with. So we have 2 9-point Rust Breakers, all damage through these guys. And the 12, as I said, if you don't want to run the ward. Then we have a 6-point Shadow Scroll and 2 12-point Shadow Scrolls, both of which have, I always forget what the penetration is called, shock. 2 major strikes and a major shock, okay? So this build, okay, so let's assume that we're not running a ward, so that will be all these bad boys. Okay, now the discussion that I've had with most of the people I play with is that although I like the idea of this build, I don't like the idea of running any type of carry, ability carry or otherwise, without any form of sustain. And considering that he's Fury and Corruption, the only options he has for health regen are Tainted Magic or Stab Link. So, I mean, you could change this up a bit and get rid of this and run a Stab Link with some health regen on it, but I don't know, people seem to run this build. It's not too bad. It'll give you a fair amount of damage off your abilities and a good amount of damage off your basic attacks. You'll only be doing 512 DPS. You'll have an extra 244 on your 4th bullet when using Hellfire rounds. Obliterate will do 763 damage. Scar will allow you to do 193.2 extra damage over 6 shots, and obviously Reckoning does nothing. So I'll link this in the description down below, and I will be changing these soon once I get to play and I confirm a build. So if you click on the link for this build and it's not there, the reason for that is because I've updated. I've probably got a new video which I will hopefully link in the description as well once I make that video, so that you can actually find the deck that I'm currently using. Okay, so we have that deck, and then we have this, which I actually think the numbers are working more in the favor of this crit build, if it ever wants. Come on, my internet connection is so bad. Okay, so this one, I don't have an early game ward in this one. We're starting with Archmagus. You can get rid of a cast token, put an early game ward in, that is fine. 2 cast tokens and a healer token, just in case I need something. We have 3 5-point Madstone gems. Okay, we have a Spear of the Rift Hunter with a minor cast, major cast, and a wound. We have a Sage's ward with 3 major strikes. You can get rid of this if you want and change for something else. We have a Brand of the Iron Eater with 2 lesser wounds and a lesser drain. Yes, nailed it. We have a 12-point Shadow Scroll, all damage. We have a Hex of the Devastator, which this is the first time I've ever used this card, and I love it. Finally using it, so I'm using it because it makes sense, because it's crit and ability pen. with 3 major wounds and a hunger ball with 3 lesser drains. Now this might seem like a lot of stuff and like it's not going to do a lot of damage, but it actually does. So we have 20 lifesteal, because the problem that you have is that you're only critting for 500s, and you've got all that reload time, and within that reload time, yes, because he's an ability carry, you're spamming your abilities, but you're not getting lifesteal off your abilities, so you need to substitute that somewhere with a little bit extra lifesteal. So I'm running 20 lifesteal. We have an extra 50 health off our ward, we have 8 ability pen, obviously we have 100% crit bonus, we have 80% crit, because when you only have 4 shots, you want to pretty much make sure you're hitting them, and 156 power, which might not seem like much, but it's 985 DPS, okay? So you're pretty much hitting, it's a bit weird, it's around about 500 a shot, it's around 504, I think, this actually does hit for. So you can pretty much wipe someone out with 4 shots. If you use your Hellfire rounds, and you land all 4 shots, you can pretty much kill someone. So then, if we have a look here, obviously this is nothing. This isn't too far off what it actually was before. The Obliterate is like 200 less damage, and I think this is like 50 less damage off that last bullet. So it's really not that different. If you were just going for a 1v1 scenario, you'd be losing 200 damage here, like 250, let's just say you're losing 300 damage on your abilities, but you're actually gaining 500 DPS. So it's actually more worthwhile, and because you're hitting about 500s and you have 20 lifesteal, you're actually healing for 100 per shot, so you have sustain. The problem that I have with the pen build with no crit is you can run lifesteal on those builds if you want, but if you're only hitting for 200 and you have 10 lifesteal, you're only getting 20 health back. That is not sustain. Minion camps will hit you for more than that, it's a good idea and everything, and these builds will definitely change once he gets reworked a little bit next week. I'm assuming that he will be. So once again, this will be linked in the description down below. Once I get to play and I work out a solid build, which I think is actually going to be something more along the lines of this, I will link that video in the description down below, so that you can watch that and get the link to the new build. Okay, so I hope this was in some way helpful, because it's all I can do right now. I'm so frustrated. If you did enjoy this video, or you found it helpful in any way, shape or form, please smash the like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think of the 2 builds. Need to get a bit of a conversation going about this guy, because he's a bit weird. Subscribe if you're not already, but that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love your face, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.